PG cars.
What's up, everybody? This is part 2 of a multi-part video, and what we're going to show you here is one of the engines, another one of the engines that I built in the past. It is a Pontiac 455 V8, right around 7.4 liters, and as you can see from the pictures here, it was pretty dirty when I first got it, and then to make matters worse, taking it out of the engine bay was not fun. And after removing it, then you can see all the details of the dirt and all the missing parts that were involved in the situation after it was removed from the car. The 455 engine was designed for large cars, passenger car use, and later on high performance use. This engine started in around 1970 and lasted until the late 70s. The 455 base was the base engine of this type in 1970, producing 325 horsepower. And later on, when the emission controls kicked in 71, the new HO 455 produced 360 horsepower. And 72, the 455 HO got detuned to 335 horsepower net. And also in 1972, the 455 4-barrel was now detuned even more to 250 horsepower net. And the bright spot for 1972 model year was the 455 HO, producing 300 horsepower net. The last of the series was in 1973. In 1973, the 455 dual exhaust 4-barrel was producing 250 horsepower net. And then there was a special order engine that was not even advertised for Pontiacs at the Pontiac dealerships. It was the mighty 73 455 SDDE Super Duty dual exhaust, producing 310 net horsepower. Properly equipped with the right car like the Firebird or whatever, the car was able to produce mid to low 13-second quarter-mile times, mid to low 5-second 0 to 60 times, and with a top speed of 125 plus miles an hour. The car could be had at any equipment option that you wanted, including 4 speeds, automatics, 273 rear gears, all the way up to 410 safety track rear end gearing. Now when we get to the putting the engine together process, things that were done with this engine, I made sure the crank was turned and polished, bearings were replaced with 40 thousandths over bearings, valves have been lapped, and also the valve seals have been changed, head has been completely rebuilt, new rings, valve seals, alternator was rebuilt with brand new brushes and bearings, and also the cylinders were honed 38 degrees with a bottle brush hone. After all that was completed, valve covers were polished, so you can see, as you see the picture, they're very shiny. The quadrajet has been rebuilt, and new plugs and wires had been installed, and also a brand new coil was installed on this engine before I fired it up. After the completion, as you can see, the water pump was also replaced at the time video was recorded. As you can see, I made a custom engine cradle to hold this engine because of its massive weight. It was very heavy, so I had to make a special engine cradle just for this motor so that I could work on it. And this engine cradle eventually had wheels welded to it so I could roll it around, so it was a good idea for me to do this. This next video is a first start of this engine after rebuilt, and over, I blueprinted this engine as well from factory specs. The engine, of course, fired up, and I tried it several times, but the problem with the engine was, at this time I was holding the camera with one hand and playing with the starter with the other hand, and I couldn't really get fuel to it effectively. So that's what happened with this thing, and I was having a lot of problems with it. But after a while, I got everything hooked up. As you can see on the side, the fuel pump was not hooked up because the cradle was in the way, so I couldn't get any electrical fuel pump mounted to the carburetor to get fuel in there while I was trying to fire it up. But it did run and it did fire up, and as you can see in the last picture, the engine was installed in the car, and of course the car was put together and ready to drive, so I drove for a while. It was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable experience. So
first run of Pontiac 455.
This car, as you can see, is a 71 Trans Am. It is fitted with the 455 HO engine, which means high output. It's pushing around 335 horsepower from the factory, and this thing possesses the 7 F6 cylinder heads. So if you're a Pontiac fan like me, y'all know 7F6 is a pretty high performance cylinder head. Back when the emission control standards started to come on, the cars were getting low on their compression and also their performance, but this thing had the power to bring it down to bring it to the mid to high 13-second quarter mile time. So it was pretty fast. And this car's located in Southeast Asia, so it was obviously imported here from the US. Alright, so I hope you liked the video, and if you like what you saw here, you want to see more, there's more in our engine series coming up. Just smash that like, share, and subscribe button, and click on the notification bell so you can get updated of more engines and more things that we're doing here, especially my antics on my road trips. And peace out, BBG out.